and gentlemen, welcome to the Sly Fox Sports Podcast. Hi. And this is your Premier League review.
Yeah.
Did a fun one this week, wasn't it, Mr. Nix?
Yeah. I watched a lot of games this week. I now have BT and Sky Sports, which means I can watch literally everything. So I watched so much football this weekend. By the end of it, I was kind of sick of it, actually. It's just like, right, that's it.
And we've got two games going tonight.
I'm also furious because Lincoln got knocked out of the FA Cup by Plymouth 2-0.
Yeah, I did see that.
No cup run for us. No cup run for us.
Sorry for that.
The local team down the road, Portsmouth, they did it right. Beat fucking Kings Lynn 6-1, so they're into the third round.
Oh, nice.
Although Kings Lynn are shit, to be they should be beating them. The upset was Chorley actually beating Peterborough. Shout out to Chorley, tiny little National League North team, dumped out fucking League One Peterborough.
Wow.
No, so yeah, great result, fantastic, good game of football as well. Yeah, I was really pleased for Chorley. You want to see at least one little team do well. Lincoln have already had their fun. You know, we got to the quarterfinals once. We were the first non-league team to do it in 103 years. We had our fun, so it's nice to see other teams having a crack.
Yeah, for sure.
Disappointed because I don't like losing to Plymouth, especially as my mate Steve, who loves Arsenal. He lives near Plymouth, and Plymouth's a shithole. So, bollocks
Nice.
to the line. So yeah, but it is what it is. At least we can focus on winning that league.
Yes. Do that and then get into the
Speaking of
championship,
leagues,
right?
Talk about that Premier League.
Yes, let's talk about that Premier League, and we'll start with
the game that was actually supposed to be good but wasn't, or are we talking about someone else first?
We'll start with the Friday fixture and go through the week.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace and Newcastle. Woohoo, boy.
Actually, really good. I didn't expect it to be. Just move my camera over a little bit. It actually was really good. I watched this game in full. I had it on and I thought, I'm going to do some stuff and I'm going to have this on in the background because in it, it's fucking Palace and Newcastle. This is going to be boring as shit. And actually, just every time I looked up, something crazy was going on. You know, a very competitive game. Palace should have actually won this if you'd seen the actual game. And this was a classic case of getting punished for not taking your opportunities. They had so much possession, so much of the ball, created so many chances, but they've got, do you know what? If Zaha doesn't play, or even if he does play and if he's not firing, they've got nobody to put the ball in the back of the net. You know, Darbo had a fucking fantastic, I think his name's Darbo, he had a fantastic header straight at the keeper. And you just think, for fuck's sake, man, like, just a little bit of quality and it would have been out in front in this game. And that's what happened with Leeds. You know, they had plenty of play. And, you know, Leeds was a weird game because like, all of a sudden you think, oh, okay. But ever since then, I think that's the last time they won a game. You know, you can't keep playing games like this, you know, where you can't. Do you know what frustrates me? They've had ample opportunity over the last 2 or 3 years since they got back in the Premier League to buy a fucking striker, to invest in forward players, and they have done none of that. Andros Townsend, come on, man.
They got Christian Benteke.
Whoopee. You know, like, fuck off. Like, this is a problem. Stop it. There's no point. The problem with Palace is they haven't got enough of a budget to bring in high-quality players. So what do? They go after players that have kind of run out of their use elsewhere and bring them in. It's no good. That being said, Newcastle, right, they're getting some good results and they're working hard. Nice little mid-table team, actually, if they can stabilise themselves well.
Absolutely.
And if you're a prospective buyer, you're looking at them and thinking there's plenty of foundation to build. They've got a big stadium, 52,000 people at but I'm going to call it St James's Park. I don't give a shit what you lot call it. That's what the proper Newcastle fans call it. And that's what it was for about 100 years.
St James's Park.
Sports Direct Arena came in and all that nonsense. You know, it's good for them. Callum Wilson, great player. Fantastic player. Hold on to him. You've got to go. See, there's the difference right there between Palace and Newcastle, right? There's not much in terms of quality, but the difference is that Newcastle, when it counted, had somebody who could put the fucking ball in the back of the net. That's all it is. That's all it comes down to. Good win for Newcastle. Palace, I've got to strengthen in January. You've got to spend some serious money on strikers, or you're going to find yourself getting sucked down into the bottom with the rest
of them. Well, the thing that I don't understand is, you know, they went out, they got Michy Batshuayi from Chelsea.
Yeah, but if he was that good, Chelsea wouldn't have let him go, would they? You know?
Yeah.
They make bad decisions. They got the reason that they're stable is because they've got Roy Hodgson as manager. Fantastic at stabilising football clubs. He was wonderful at Fulham. Did a really good job at Fulham. You know, people forget all the stuff he did for the Swiss national team. You know, Roy Hodgson, he's been around the block and he knows what he's doing. But he's not a great motivator of men, not for my money. I remember the Fulham side that he managed for a long time because I used to go to a lot of games with my stepdad. And, you know, it was one of those things where you just felt like the team was good, but if they really needed it, they couldn't get to that next level. The fire wasn't there. Here he is again. Roy Hodgson's the kind of manager who does well with a tiny budget and at a small football club. And that's what he's done at Crystal Palace. Stabilised them, kept them in the Premier League. That's nice. But you still have to progress. And Crystal Palace strike me as a team that are just happy being there. And all the time it's going to be like that. They're not going to push themselves more. They're not going to look for more finances. You know, dare I say ownership. You know, they might need new ownership to really advance because they need more money and they just aren't spending it. So, and let's not forget as well with COVID, it's more difficult when you're a smaller team like Crystal Palace. You haven't got your fans coming in. You're losing a lot of revenue from fans not coming in. You know, that's, God forbid if Bournemouth have been in the league this season. You know, Bournemouth doing very well in the Championship, as we said.
Yes, they are.
Hopefully we'll be coming back up. But these smaller teams, they need those fans in the door. They don't get all the crazy TV money like the Man Uniteds and the Chelseas of the world. They don't have the high-profile T-shirts to sell. You know, you're not going to sell millions upon millions of Zaha jerseys at Palace. You're just not. Right? So they need their fans in there, and also fans make the biggest difference for the smaller clubs. Now, Crystal Palace has one of, arguably, I would say, the most vocal support in the Premier League. You know, their fans are fantastic. They've got the drums, everything. They love a flair, that lot. They're crazy, and that can really help energize, you know, a team and give them a bit more passion going forward. They don't have that, so you know, it's a bit of a shame. I don't think they'll go down, but games like this annoy me a little bit because I sit there and I think should have got something from that and you didn't. But you know, credit to Wilson. There was also both goals were very late in the game. Very late in the game, and ultimately what that was a case of Newcastle didn't give up. Palace had run out of ideas. Newcastle just kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and when they got their opportunities, they took them. Wilson scores a lovely goal. He's a fantastic little player. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up getting poached if Newcastle can't hold on to him because you know the better you do.
He got poached from Bournemouth.
Yeah, exactly. So that was one
to
step up,
Newcastle.
and he's these are all stepping stones. He's going to keep working his way up. But, you know, I look at a team like Arsenal, for instance, who can't score goals to save their fucking life at the moment. And I think I would have Wilson up front in that team. Absolutely, I would. They need someone who's just put the fucking ball in the back of the net. Sometimes it is that simple. You need someone who just knows how to score a goal.
Okay, but if you did put him in the Arsenal front line, who would you replace? Who would you move out?
You replace whoever's not playing well. Just because Aubameyang is high. See, this is a problem with these big teams, right? They spend all this money on players. That's great. If he's not playing well, that doesn't mean he's invulnerable. Sit him down and say, right, until you can prove to me that you can score regular goals, sit the fuck down. I don't care if you cost 60 or 70 million. Look at Pogba, for instance. Man United are a better team without him in the side. They spent over 100 million on him.
Yeah.
Tough tits. Move him. Tough tits. I'm quite a harsh football fan in that regard. I don't give a shit about your price tag. If you ain't turning up, if you ain't playing, if you ain't showing the passion, get the fuck out of my side. I'd rather have the geezer who earns fucking 10 grand a year over there than the guy who earns 10 grand a minute if he's going to put in more of a shift. Put the players in who need a shift. Put the players in who want to play. It's as simple as that. The guys who are going to grow up.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, work great. So yeah, no, good for Newcastle though. We shouldn't understate just how well Newcastle play football. Actually, they play
Indeed.
good football. Nobody pays attention to them.
Right.